Guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is gonna be a weird one. I've never done one like this before, but I got inspired by you guys, actually, my Instagram followers. If you're not already following, please go do so. But anyway, the video that I posted, I guess maybe a week ago now, where I was playing with my size, got a lot of attention, to say the least, and a lot of people were like, why don't you do a tutorial? And I never thought about it, so that's what we're gonna do today. I know I'm a makeup channel, but with everything going on right now, I need a change of pace. My store is not safe right now to work in, so I'm still home, and the protests and riots here in Denver have escalated quite quickly in the last 2 days. There have been lots of gunshots, rubber bullets, tear gas, and a lot of people have been arrested, and it's not been very safe. So I'm staying in, and this was something that you guys wanted to see, and I just am not in the mood to do makeup. So I guess we're gonna do a Sai tutorial. Who knew? So the first thing about Sais, this is what they look like. These are special though. These are engraved and they come to a point on both ends and do have a blunt edge. So these will not like cut through things, because with Sais you do manipulate the blade with your hand often, and that just wouldn't be safe for the user. But these are not necessarily very practical for battle. Because these are sharp, a lot of the time when you're doing defensive moves, they are pointed in towards you. And if something happened, if your arm was pressed in, you would stab yourself, and same thing with this end. Traditionally, Sais originated as a gardening tool in Japan. They came straight up like this and had a long blunt end, and it was basically used for tilling the earth. They eventually were adopted into a defensive weapon during the samurai ninja like era when they were clashing. So they are traditionally a ninja weapon used for offense or used for defense. But as we all know, or for those of you who are familiar and grew up reading the comics and watching the shows, Elektra from the Marvel universe uses very sharp Sais, and she is an assassin. So these are actually engraved and modeled after the Sais that Jennifer Garner wields in the movie Elektra. The engravings are fairly close to the actual weight as well. Those obviously are going to be a little bit finer in detail, and they were much sharper for the movie. And yeah, so my fiance got these for me many years ago, and I've been practicing with them for, gosh, it's coming on 10 years now. So I am very proficient with them and I feel comfortable with them. So essentially we have the Sai here, and you have the two prongs. They can lock in a sword if someone's coming at you offensively, and you can turn a wrist, and it's very easy to get that blade out of someone's hand. And if you are strong enough, these can, with enough tension, actually break other blades. The first thing that I want to show is just the normal grip. You do want to hold them this way by the handle. A lot of times in movies and pop culture, you'll see people holding like this when fighting. You can hold them with your forefingers when you're twirling and switching to a defensive position, but when you're actually battling and doing sword contact, you want to hold it by the handle, because again, these are guards and they're used to catch swords. So if someone came in with a blade and you had your fingers here, you're losing a finger. Offensive position is going to be here, held in your hand, and you can twirl just by the handle. I personally don't prefer this method because this is open, and if I happen to let go, it's gonna fly out. I have a little bit more control when I hold it here. But from offensive, the easiest way and the fastest to get into defensive, take your thumb, come on the back side, and if you're left-handed, of course, you will take it and come on this side, and you're literally just gonna let the side drop. So you're gonna twist your wrist and you're gonna let it drop. Boop. Just like that. You want to maintain this hand grip, because if you have to quickly come back into offensive, you just move your fingers and flick up. Offensive, wrap the finger, down, come back out, down, come back out. So that's one of the first things you want to master, is just that motion of catching, letting the Sai drop, getting used to the weight of it. Sais come in different lengths. You want it to be just up to your forearm or about an inch past, just like that. Then that way you won't hit yourself accidentally when you're twirling. But yeah, so from here, that's how you go from offensive to defensive. And then if someone comes at you, you can block this way. And these, if you hit someone at a knee joint or somewhere on a bone, with blunt force this way and you did a direct straight jab, you're gonna break bone and you're gonna cause so much bruising that they probably won't even be able to move. And then once you get familiar with this motion, it'll be easier to do it really quick. And then you also will be able to do it from a lateral position, so coming this way and down. And you'll build up your forearm strength doing this. For the first couple days or months of training, your arms are going to be really sore. There are weird muscles that you don't use, and just the rotating, that resistance of keeping your arm firm while it's rotating puts a lot of strain on the arm. So it might hurt a little bit, but you'll get used to it. So after we have mastered this, the next thing is to learn how to twirl. So twirling is both a kind of showy thing, but also practical. If you are twirling, it can be a distraction to an opponent if you're twirling in this hand and you're blocking with the other. And then again, it helps you just get into defensive and offensive positions quickly. So you can come in, out with both, boom, 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 just like that. So twirling, again, some people prefer to do it this way, in which case you're just going to let the sai roll back. And then you can also go backwards. And this feels a little bit less secure because you can kind of see my hand is slowly getting to the end of the sai. It'll move. So again, I prefer to hold it by the actual tongs. I don't know. But yeah, just like this. And I will slowly let it go. I'm kind of opening my hand each time to give it that freedom of movement, and then catching and closing. And then once you kind of get familiar with this rotation, you can practice going backwards, and then forwards and back. And then once you get good, you can incorporate lateral twists where it's doing kind of a figure 8 movement. Bring in your offensive, defensive, switching back, twisting, and coming in. And then once you've gotten all these motions down and you're really proficient, then you can speed it up. This is probably the speed that you'll be able to do it at your first week, month, and then you'll be able to pick it up to here. And then probably after a year, you can get to this point where you almost can't even see it. Practice those skills, and now we'll just do a little demo with both. So one thing that looks really cool, it's nice when you can twirl both at the same time, but another thing that looks really cool is if you can develop the coordination to go from your twisting down, twisting back up, down, up. So it's basically this motion, but you're turning the outside of your hand down to get that twist up and then bringing it back up. And once you get good at that, you can do it with both sides. And then for a little bonus, you would never want to do this with sharpened sais like Electras, but any dull sai or practice sai, if you come in to your defensive, slide out, catch, make sure you catch the blade though so you don't let it go flying. So this one I'd probably practice outside. So again, here, come out, and you want to do a really quick downward flick of your wrist and flick back up and let the blade go. You'll then do a half turn and you catch it. Out, half turn, catch, and bring back to defensive. So out, boop, here, down. Alright guys, so that concludes this video. I'm getting really hot. It's very warm here in Denver, and I can't film with the air conditioner on because you can't hear me. That thing is so goddamn loud. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. You guys have always wondered about sais or wanted to use them. They're a really cool thing to train in, and it just develops your coordination. And then it's just a good skill to have. Not that you should ever carry these around. I don't know if you'd get like arrested for having them because they're technically not sharpened. And they're not really a blade. But still, don't carry them around, but it's a good skill to learn. And yeah, thank you all for watching. I highly, highly recommend picking some up. Make sure you just measure your forearm and it comes down to either the exact length or about an inch below. Sais are not very expensive. You can get them on Amazon. Just make sure you don't get sharpened sais. I don't even know if they sell these. Again, these were made for me. But yeah, if you want to learn, check them out. Make sure though that they are full tang. And that means the blade goes straight down into the handle and they're one solid piece. You can sometimes search battle ready or any like terms like that. You just don't want them to be welded together. Those are not good for training. They will not hold up over time, and then if you ever did, God forbid, get in a situation where you had to use them to defend yourself, you probably will only get maybe 4 or 5 blocking strikes in from a good opponent before they break. You want them to be solid. So yeah. Alright guys, again, thank you so much for watching. That ends this video. I feel really weird doing it because again, I'm a makeup channel, but I'm trying to deviate from that and do videos that I want to do, and this was one that I did want to do and you guys requested. So that's about it. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have not already seen my video on the VKK cleansing brush, please check it out. Subscribe, hit that bell, and I will see you on my next one. Until then, bye ya.